His gaze found places my husband had long stopped seeing. And in that single look, I felt alive again. My name is Sarah. I'm 38, a mother of two, and for the past 14 years, I've lived what many might call an ideal life. At least from the outside. Rashid, my husband, is a good man. Dependable, faithful, hardworking. But over time, something between us dulled like faded paint. Still there, but cracked and brittle. Our talks turned into schedules. Our dinners into silent routines. And intimacy. Just another chore he was too exhausted to care for. I never imagined doubting my marriage. Until one afternoon. When Armin returned. I hadn't seen him in almost 20 years. He was the boy from next door who moved away after school. The same boy who once helped me climb the old guava tree in my parents' yard and laughed when I stumbled right into his arms. That boy was now a man. Tall, composed, wrapped in quiet mystery. He had come back to sell his late aunt's house, just across from ours. And the first time he looked at me, it was like no time had passed. "Sarah?" he asked with a smile that stirred something deep inside me. "Armin." I barely recognized my own voice. The ache in my chest began the moment our eyes met. Over the next few days we exchanged greetings. Small at first. But small things grow fast when your heart craves attention. I started noticing details. The way he truly listened when I spoke. The way his eyes lingered a little too long. And how my breath hitched whenever he said my name. At night, lying beside Rashid, I stared at the ceiling, remembering how Armin's voice made me feel warm. Desired. Rashid barely noticed the change in me. He was too busy, too tired, too distant. One evening, after another quiet meal and one-sided conversation, I stepped outside. The sun had dipped low, painting the sky with soft hues. That's when I saw Armin again, standing on his porch, coffee cup in hand, watching the sunset. I don't know why I walked over. Maybe loneliness. Maybe curiosity. Maybe something deeper I wasn't ready to admit. "Can I join you?" "Yes." "Please," he said, pulling out a chair. "I hoped you would." We sat quietly at first, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was warm, magnetic, like the pause before a first kiss, one that hadn't happened yet. "Sarah," he said softly, "are you truly happy?" "I don't know," I whispered. He turned to me, and the world hushed. No kids, no chores, no failing marriage. Just his eyes and mine. Before I could respond, thunder cracked. A sudden summer storm rolled in, wild and fierce. Rain poured like it had been waiting for years. "Come inside," he said, grabbing my hand as we ran to his door. Inside, soaked and breathless, I laughed for the first time in months. "You're soaked," he said, handing me a towel. Our fingers brushed and stayed. A touch. That moment. It was dangerous, beautiful. And as the storm raged outside, my heart whispered the question I was too scared to say aloud. What if everything I've ever wanted is right here? The storm didn't let up that night. It poured like heaven had opened its gates, as if the skies knew something sacred was unfolding behind closed doors. I stood in Armin's living room, towel draped over my shoulders, heart pounding like a forbidden drum. Every part of me screamed to leave, but my feet stayed. So did his. We sat close on the edge of his couch, thunder rolling outside, shadows flickering on the walls from the warm lamplight. My hair was damp. His eyes held questions I wasn't ready for, but wanted. "I've thought about you," he said low and deliberate. "All these years you've always come back to me." My breath caught. "Armin, I know you're married," he whispered. "I'm not here to break things. But I see what's in your eyes." I looked away. "It's not that simple." He leaned in. "It is, Sarah. The heart doesn't care about contracts or routines. It just knows when it's dying, and when it's alive." His words shattered the last denial I clung to. 4 years I'd been quietly breaking, like a good wife should. But now, next to Armin, I felt alive. Scared, hopeful, reckless. He didn't touch me, but his presence filled every empty space inside me. I stood suddenly. I should go. He walked me to the door. The rain softened to a whisper. He didn't ask me to stay, but when I stepped outside, he said something I wasn't ready for. If you ever want to be seen again, you know where I am. Days passed, but I wasn't the same. Rashid noticed eventually. You've been quiet, he said over breakfast. I've always been quiet, I replied, hiding behind my cup. He didn't push. He never did. That was the problem. I was a ghost in my own home. Later that week I saw Armin again, this time at the grocery store. Innocent. Or maybe not. We stood in aisle 3, surrounded by cereal boxes and heartbreak. You look tired, he said. I don't sleep much anymore. I can tell. Our hands brushed, reaching for the same coffee brand. And there it was again, that fire. He stepped closer. Why do you punish yourself, Sarah? Closed my eyes. Because if I let go, I don't know who I'll be. He smiled gently. Then let's find out together. That night, I didn't go home after errands. I drove past our street and sat in my car outside Armin's house until the lights went out in mine. Called him. One ring. Sarah, he answered, voice thick with sleep. I'm outside. He was at the door in seconds. I didn't wait. I stepped into his arms. We didn't kiss. We just held each other. That was more dangerous than any kiss could have been. I don't want to break my life, I whispered. He pressed his forehead to mine. Then don't. Let's build a new one. Pulled away. And the kids. Rashid. I'm not asking you to run away. I'm asking you to come back to yourself. His words pierced me. I'd lost myself in the roles. Wife, mother. Quiet woman who never wanted more. We talked all night. Memories, regrets, dreams too wild to speak aloud. The clock ticked, but time stood still. By dawn, something inside me had shifted. The next morning I sat across from Rashid. The kids were at school. Silence thick. I need to talk, I said. He looked up surprised. Okay. I told him everything. Not about Armin, but about the emptiness, loneliness, years of pretending. To my shock, Rashid cried. Why didn't you tell me? I did, I said softly. 1,000 times. You stopped hearing. No fights. No yelling. Just quiet truths laid bare. He asked if there was someone else. Pause. There's someone who reminded me I'm still a woman. Not just a role. That was enough. He understood. I moved out for a while. Stayed with my sister. Not with Armin. I needed clarity. And Armin respected that. He texted every morning. Good morning, Sarah. And every night. I'm here when you're ready. Weeks passed. I started therapy. Rashid and I agreed on a peaceful separation. The kids took it better than expected. Children sense when love is missing. One rainy afternoon, almost like the first, I stood on Armin's porch again. This time on purpose. He opened the door. His smile didn't question. He pulled me into a quiet, long embrace. I'm ready now, I said. He looked into my eyes. Then let's write the rest of your story. Together. And that's how my second chapter began. Not with fireworks or scandal, but slow-burning truth and a man who saw me, when I couldn't even see myself. Because sometimes love doesn't knock. It returns. Just when you need it most.